Good evening, everyone. This is Miss Dana, and tonight we're going to be talking about Kanika Jenkins and Teresa Martin and their relationship. So right now I'm just waiting for some people to come in here so I can get started. Guys, Chloe, if you can hear me, let me know. Hi, Lamari. If you guys can hear me, please let me know. Okay, good. Okay, as I said before, guys, um, we're going to discuss Teresa Martin's relationship to Kanika Jenkins. And the reason why I'd like to discuss that is because somebody posted a comment in my on one of the videos I did earlier, and they said that Teresa wasn't Kanika's mom. And then I got a notification from Mr. Jackie Dragon, and he posted a video about the same thing. So I felt like maybe we needed to discuss that. Cassie, this is my first time going live, so I may need your help. Um, I'd like to invite, you on the panel. So, do I just press this invite link here and copy? And copy it to the clipboard. And so I have no idea of what in the world I'm doing, Cassie. But anyway, um, let me see if I could get to the clipboard. Invite. I actually don't. I have no clue of how to do that. Let's see if you don't have a mouse. Okay, I'll try that. It's actually not letting me do it, Cassie. Um, Hi, Tawanda. Y'all give me a minute. I'm trying to figure this out. I'm not nervous, Cassie. I just don't know how to, I don't go live, so I don't I'm trying to, I see it says copy to clipboard, and it's copied, but how do I get to the clipboard once I copy it? I may have to do this a different way. Um, I may have to try to get it to your email. Like I really can't I can't make this work. Okay, let me see. Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to work this out. Cassie, if you want to go ahead on and start a live so we can continue this discussion, because um I'm having problems with copying and pasting. And that's very basic for some, but for somebody who don't go live, it's confusing me. Can you respond back to that, Cassie? Try typing it, you said, boss? Okay, try that, Cassie. Okay, boss. Let me see. Let me see how to do this. Can you see it, Cassie? You can't see it? Now click invite. Got it? Okay, that's a right click, right? I can copy it, but I can't paste it. Once I copy it, where do I find it once I copy it? It's to the clipboard, but I don't know where that is. Okay. Okay, I'm out of it. I don't know. Cassie, just go ahead and start a live and we can go to your channel and finish the discussion. I need to learn more about this live streaming thing before I can get one actively going. Oh, I got it. All right. So that took me all of 24 minutes and 3 seconds to get done. Thank you, boss. Thank you, Cassie. All right, so boss, you can come up on if you want to as well, and anybody else who want to join the panel. I think we just need to talk about that because Mr. Jackie posted a video up early, and I was like, wow, well, somebody just commented in my comments section that Teresa Martin was not Kanika's mom. Hi, Cassie.
I got my son off. That's you. That's yours off.
Your nephew?
That feed is coming from your tab.
I'm getting some feedback.
I'm echoing off of your microphone.
Okay, so what do I need to do?
Go to your YouTube tab and read it.
I'm not on YouTube at all. I'm just coming from StreamYard. Hold Hold on just a second. No, maybe I need to do headphones or something. Let me try this.
See, that's hers. That's not mine, boss. I'm off.
Can you hear me, Cassie?
Yes, I can hear you. You're very low, but I can hear you.
Yes, it's very low. Hold on
Um,
just a second.
okay. I'm assuming you're on like the MacBook or the Chromebook or something, right?
I'm on this I think this is a notebook that I'm on right now.
Okay.
Can you hear me better?
It's low, but if I can repeat anything that you say if people can't hear you, I guess.
Okay.
Boss, it's not me. My stuff is off. It's coming out from her microphone.
It's my microphone that's making that sound?
No, it was, but it's not anymore.
Okay. I plugged in some earphones.
Just the microphone part of your earphones,
Uh-huh.
hold it close up to your mouth, I guess.
Okay.
Ooh, me and my brother's gonna have a fight.
Yeah, so Cassie, I know you had sent me some information earlier um about Teresa Martin and you know, the I think it was a paternity test that she had taken with Lenore
Uh-huh.
and the dad, and then the court records of, is it the settlement that Kanika Jenkins got once she reached a certain age?
The other document, yes.
That's what the other document was. And basically what I was saying earlier, when I got that comment, it's like, okay, well, we know that, when we were dealing with legal issues, um, such as filing lawsuits, even planning a funeral, we have to have documentation as to who, you know,
Correct.
we need documentation. We can't just go claim a body and say this is my child and I need to make funeral arrangements for this kid. That's just not
Correct.
how it works. And so basically that's what I wanted to touch on, you know?
You're
Because a
exactly
lot of
right.
people are out there thinking that Teresa Martin is not Kanika's mom.
Well, the first time I heard that, my defensive reply, nobody liked. They had excuses for it. But as a mom, it seemed most logical to me. My answer was, she has her children's names tattooed on her chest.
Right.
Now people say, well, that doesn't mean this or that. And to be totally honest, even the court documents is not going to prove she's biologically the mother. It was proved legally she's the mother. And I think that if a person has pushed me to that point, if they're still pushing the issue that hard, it's because they just want to be that way.
Right.
And there's not anything that you're going to be able to do to convince them, because in my experience, they already know. They're just being ugly.
Yeah, I agree. But it
And
just,
in
hi
reality, what
boss. Thanks for your help. It muddies the waters though,
it very much does.
and like I was saying once, before that, the case is it has a lot of nuances to it that are not pleasing. So why should the public add more? That's my thing.
Because they can.
The case is dirty. You know,
It's
this is a
already dirty.
dirty case.
But that's been the biggest disappointment for me is as I've unraveled these conspiracy theories and these rumors and things like that, the most disappointing part was finding the root of it starting in the public. It wasn't from Rosemont. It
Right.
wasn't from the family. It wasn't from the cousins. It was the J for K community. And that's very depressing.
It is, and the stories get wilder and wilder. You know, you would think things are calming down, but they're not.
No.
You know, they don't have that many YouTubers reporting on Kanika Jenkins' case like before, but the ones that they have, when you look into their channels, they're just not. I mean, it's all conspiracy theories, most of
Well,
them.
if you noticed it in social media, I don't think it matters what platform, the newbies come in waves. Sometimes they're small waves, sometimes they're large waves. Right now,
Right.
we've got a humongous wave. I think because of the holidays, people not being at work or school.
Right. I mean, I don't even really go on in the Facebook groups anymore because it's just one conspiracy theory after another, and that that get old after time. You know,
Yes.
once you've got a pretty, like I said before, none of us really know what happened to Kanika, but from following the information in the case files and the facts, um, we just you know, we got a pretty good idea. And when we hear all of that other stuff, it turns us off. We don't even want to
Disheartening.
hear it anymore. You
But
know.
if you don't mind me interrupting real quick, I just had a spasmodic thought. Dana, you and Boss need to get together to talk about the pyramid. I knew I'd remember one day to tell you.
Okay.
I've been telling him I was going to tell you, and I just hadn't stopped to do it.
Yeah, that pyramid ain't nothing to play with.
Yeah, I was doing research on that, and
Yeah.
I want to make sure my YouTube turned on.
I mean, it's really a serious. We could talk about it now, cause
I know you've been wanting to.
that pyramid, it ain't nothing to play with. Like I was telling Brazy
Uh huh.
when he asked the question, you know, like what does it do? The only thing I could describe it, it is as strong as, I don't know if any of you all have heard of this drug, Seroquel, that they give
Yep.
to some people that have mental illnesses, some people that have sleep disorders. This is a drug that will make you sleep for 24 hours in
Well,
its smallest dosage. And that pyramid is a drug such as that.
it's,
So, but the thing about it is, she didn't have enough in her system to even cause that kind of effect,
exactly.
you know? So that's what I I started, you know, making videos about it, and then I get thrown off because I'm not sure. I've spoken to people in the medical field, my sisters, and they're like, you know, they made me understand what it does to the brain. It 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 actually, the best way I can describe it to you, boss,
No, no,
is
no, no,
like it will put the brain to sleep.
no. I know what it does because I've been researching this shit. But the question that I have for you,
Go ahead.
huh?
No, I said go ahead. His biggest part is the therapeutic level part.
So I got a
Right.
mouth.
But I'm gonna be quiet and eat my cookies.
And so she had like, was it 3,000
Yeah,
Nanogram.
which
nanograms,
which is 3 milligrams,
which is
and
basically 3 milligrams.
right, and normally like the basic or the lowest dosage is like 25, or it could go lower as 15 if you
Right,
told the kid. And for people who have seizures, they can go up to 50, start off at 50.
right,
So pretty much, I know what it does. I know the dangers of it. I know what overdose will do to you. All that. But the thing that just trips me out is exactly what you said. She only had 3 grams, not milligrams.
It doesn't make sense. And so I did a video some time ago. I've always been intrigued with that drug from the very beginning. And so I had started doing research early on about that drug just for myself, just so I could know what it does. But what really threw me off about it is when I found that that particular drug is tested for in the toxicological when they do the tox on a person once they die to see what's in their system.
Right.
That drug is actually on the grid. It's one of the first drugs to be tested for. So that there threw me off again. So like, are they? This is messing with my mind because they say it was in her system, but then we have it on this grid. So, but she don't have enough to be classified as an overdose, and she don't even have enough to be classified as if she took one pill that day.
Exactly.
So I'm confused right now.
What I feel, which I'm actually working on this video right now as we speak, is, and I know some people might not agree, some people will. I think it was given to her. I don't think she voluntarily took it. They have some that's actually in a capsule, and they have a pill form. The capsule is the extended release.
Right.
And the fact that she had 3 milligrams, I don't think somebody tried to kill her. They possibly did research and realized the effects that it can cause.
Right.
And in their head, they're like, okay, if it's gonna do this to her, then she might fall for the okie doke and do whatever they was planning on doing.
If I give her just a little bit.
Exactly.
That's
I
the
have a question.
only other option. Because had she taken it in pill form, then the half-life of the drug would have been more than 3 milligrams. It just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
The amount she had in her system don't make sense. And for them to classify it as a contributing factor in her death doesn't make sense either to me. It don't even make, one of my sisters is a doctor and I have one that's a nurse. It don't even make sense to them,
It's weird.
you know?
Now, let me ask you. Now, I know you don't have a definite answer, but I guess it just be picking at your brain here. If in fact somebody researched to see what medications are going to do, whatever, are you thinking that they specifically researched this specific pill or just pills in general?
I can't put my finger on it, Cassie. I don't have an answer for that. It may have been just a drug that they had access to, you know, and knew a little bit about what the effects of the drug and decided, hey, okay, well, let me just, and I'm thinking right now, since you said what you said, boss, I'm thinking that whatever was done, I don't think it was given to her in a pill form, if it was given at all. I'm thinking that now it was a capsule that maybe they just sprinkled a little bit in her drink, you know, just a little, a dab of it
Yeah.
could have caused that effect to her.
Yeah,
Because,
because when you
go ahead.
drink with it, that's what it causes.
Right, right. And now, truthfully, if we want to be truthful and speak, you know, we're about the truth on, you know, amongst our channels. But
Yes.
when we put all of this in perspective, we, if we, if we really want to be honest, and we can say, look, she had topiramate in her system. She drank a little bit of alcohol. Since we know the effects of topiramate and what it does and what it focuses on the central nervous system That's
Yep.
what it focuses on.
Yep.
That will put your brain to sleep. So it doesn't take that much to make her look. It wouldn't have taken that much to make her look the way she was. That could have definitely happened. The way we seen her walking through the hall, that most definitely could have happened to her.
Well, then would it be reasonable to say that she would have had to have something else in her system to make her keep going instead of just laying
Well, we know
Caffeine.
she had the energy drink.
Caffeine. Yep.
You know, she had all of these things that were, it, it just
there? She made her own cocktail in her body.
exactly. It was a cocktail
That she didn't mean to happen.
that she didn't mean to have.
That's debatable.
It is, but it's something that people should think about as well
I don't.
because
I
she
don't think.
wasn't drunk.
Not at all.
I don't, in my mind, at the beginning, I was just telling somebody this a couple hours ago. The very beginning of this case, before we knew that the liquor bottle had not been opened until they got to the hotel room, we saw that on the Snapchat. In my mind, I was thinking, okay, they opened the liquor in the car and had a drink on the way over there. Bree got pills. Maybe, Kanika took one. And maybe Bree, just as a Kiki and Kaka, stuck another one in her drink. Now, I later, realized that couldn't possibly be the case because we see them open the liquor bottle in the bathroom and Kanika's holding her cup as Monique was pouring it.
Right.
Okay. But I could still, knowing the background of these girls, I could see Bree doing that because these are little pranks, if you will, that they had done to each other years before. But, and now that I'm saying it again, that would explain Miss Emotional on MTV. But again, I don't see it being enough to kill her.
Right.
The amount, because I think the overdose amount is like 49,000 milligrams or something.
Oh yeah, it's really high.
Stay tuned to my video. I'm gonna tell you exactly what happened. Watch.
But other than that, other than the Kiki Kaka type of prank for somebody to put it in her drink, now you're looking at deliberate and with a purpose and a motive.
I'm gonna just say this: it wasn't put in her drink to kill her, but one of the symptoms is you may faint and pass out.
Yeah.
At that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
And
not
I
trying
mean-
to spoil. I'm not trying to spoil your video, but going down that path makes my mind think. Okay, so now we're talking sexual assault.
Oh, you already know what I think.
But you see,
But there's no sexual assault in either.
and
report.
that's what I was fixing to say. That's just
It
like
wasn't.
one in the court of law.
It wasn't.
You can only bring in things that can be proven, and from the information that we have, we're thinking it because it's logical, but the information that they gave us, it don't make sense. It don't fit because according to the autopsy, she wasn't sexually assaulted. But then again, according to the autopsy, she had this drug in her system that was a contributing factor to her death, of her walking into that freezer and
A
dying.
secondary contributing factor.
Yes, secondary. So everything that is written down was written to it sides with them. They didn't give any kind of leeway in those files, or even in the footage, to say, okay, maybe it could be this. A lot of people have done that, but they've done it out of order because they didn't do the research to know exactly what is happening in the case.
Yeah.
And that's where the confusion comes in. But this case, in reality, it doesn't make a bit of sense. The case files, the footage, none of it makes sense.
I'll agree with that.
You know.
It's I can say that what I've seen from the medical examiners, not just in the case file, but on the annual reports that they do for Cook County for the year on all the deaths,
Mhm.
even the little bit of information there made me feel like, okay, you're still not saying specifically
Right.
why she did. And I feel like even though that they wrote what they wrote in the autopsy report, I've still felt like a blank space as far as like, but why she did.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know. It just. I mean. I think it's just a. I think it's really sad. And 4 years later, we still trying to figure it out. But at the same time, we'll never figure it out because that's how they gave it to us. They didn't want us to figure it out. You know,
Well,
they didn't, Cassie.
I agree to a point anyway, but that's why I think that we have tried to find different ways to get FOIA requests approved to gather more information.
Right.
Now, my problem is, and this is something that Jackie Dragon and myself discussed a long time ago, but I've never seen anybody else in the public bring it up. Um, and it's something that I plan on going and getting my own FOIA request and requesting the documents myself to find out the true answer. But there are documents that float around social media that have been stated that they were done by FOIA requests.
Mhm.
But like, I'll give you a perfect example. One of the issues is like the medical examiner Sumners that came up to the hotel. When he's writing his part, he says that in those documents that I saw from this other person, he said that he interviewed Teresa and Leonora, and the whole time that he's talking in third person. It's not, he didn't do that on other things that he wrote up. He didn't speak in third person.
Right.
So I've got issues as to the whether or not these documents are even authentic, or is this just another person in the public doing a Gina McGill and going and stealing letterhead and making up their own documents.
Right.
So, and the only way that I'm going to find this out is to get the FOIA request and do it myself, which is what I was kind of touching on last night with my live. With the I'm documenting going through the whole procedure of doing a FOIA request, and I'm doing it straight directly through Rosemont and not through the Muckrock, and see how things are working out with that. I mean, I don't know how else to do it to where we can see. Okay. I'm looking at the medical examiner's website. Come on. It says, here, let me come back over here with y'all. Let me see. Now, at the bottom of your screen there, Dana, if you add the where it's got my name again, it's going to be like another person. That way, I'll be able to screen share. Just click on that little box like if it's a person, and you're adding them to the panel.
Add to stream.
Where it says, there it is, right there. Okay. This is Cook County's medical examiners, and I don't know if y'all can see it that well because it's got a white background like this. But I go through and I fill out all the filters: her age, the year, her race, all that good stuff. Okay. And it narrows it down. Okay. Kanika's is the second one right here. It says 9/17, 12/25, I mean, 9/10/2017 at 12:25 a.m. Uh, it gives the time and date of death at 12:48 a.m., which is the time that they actually called the hospital, and they called it the time of death, but it's not actually when he died. 19-year-old black female accident. Okay. Here it says primary cause hyperthermia. Primary cause line A, cold exposure in a walk in freezer. And then it has blanks. And then it says secondary cause ethanol and topiramate intoxication.
See?
And then it goes over here. It gives the address of the hotel. It gives the latitude and the longitude. And then it'll say Chicago, and it'll give the zip code. And then all the little codes, for districts, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Now, this is something that I have made a couple of videos on, but I need to find, maybe a meteorologist might be able to answer this. The same way that the time changes, I don't know if the latitude and longitude can move a few numbers as the world's rotating on the axle
Oh, yeah.
in different times of the year. So, and I forgot to do it again this year, but what I've been trying to remember to do is on that time of the year, September the 10th, go and try this. But what I've done is I've taken the actual latitude and longitude and put it into the maps, and it does not come up to the kitchen. And it should. It doesn't come up to the whole hotel, because you can click around different spots of the hotel and you're going to get different latitudes and longitudes. But I'll just say this to keep down speculation. The latitude and longitude does not match up to the kitchen.
Where does it actually match up to? Do you know?
Yeah. I mean, what I found every time I've done it,
Is it the dock area?
no. It's none of the kitchens. It's not the dock. It's none of that. It's the opposite side of the hotel. And the problem is latitude and longitude does not work in height. So like lower level, street level, 14th floor, anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
the latitude and longitude is not going to tell me a differential. It's going to just tell me a point straight down.
You say
And
it's coming up all the way on the other side of the hotel?
yeah,
Where?
hold on. Daddy's hollering at me. Hold on. We can pull it up and I'll show you, but it's closer to the elevators.
Hmm.
But like I said, I can tell you at the top, the bottom, the middle, because latitude and longitude is not going to tell you that.
Right.
But let me, okay, go ahead and take this little thing off so the screen share come off. Oh, I can do it here. I'm sorry. All right.
You can.
There you go. Y'all continue that. I got to go help Daddy real quick. I'll be
Okay.
back.
Yeah. I remember the YouTuber OK had she had started doing some stuff like that too, with the latitude and longitude, and realized that those coordinations were incorrect as well. So, but why would they give the wrong coordinations? I just don't get it. Why would they do that?
Yeah, that don't make sense to me at all.
No. I mean, there is an actual coordination as to where she was found in that freezer. So they should have been able to give those coordinations versus what was given, if that is in fact incorrect.
You got a comment in the chat says Tweety Smith says her mama had a part in it too, as well. The fuck before Kanika came up missing. You know, I've heard that in the beginning, but it's just, and I'm not saying there's no mother that wouldn't hurt their kid, but I can't say that unless I have proof. If you got proof of that, Tweety, I sure like to see it.
Yeah, me too. I'd love to see it. You know.
I mean, I don't know. I know I heard rumors that something about she messed with one of her boyfriends or something like that. I don't know how true that is, so I never spoke on it.
Hmm. Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of people speak on things that they are not certain of, things that they may have heard other people speaking on, and it sounds believable. It sounds like it could be true. But in reality, it holds no weight. When you go to researching that stuff, you know, digging deep, and it holds no weight. And so that's why I before I say something, I'm gonna try to figure it out before I just blurt that stuff into the atmosphere, and I'm not sure about it, you
All right.
know. Because like I said, this case is already, it's muddy enough already without adding to it.
Um, I don't know if y'all spoke on it. I just now walked back in. Lucy, she did have an independent coroner do a private autopsy, and it matched everything matched up to Cook County.
Yeah.
Somebody named Lucy in the chat.
Yes.
Okay. Hey, I'm gonna finish this video and I'm gonna come right back.
All right.
Okay.
Haters. Y'all don't know. Boston, myself, we stay up past the sun rising talking about this case,
I know.
literally every day. I don't know how that man gets up and goes to work. I mean, he works second shift, but still,
Yeah.
we do some serious deep discussion. And yes, there's plenty of times where he will, we're texting and he will literally dial my number and he goes, "Is you crazy?" So yes, but we try to keep that not, in front of the public. But I mean, yes, again, like I was just telling somebody, we don't know, all of us, our little circle, should I say, we don't always agree. There's a lot of things that none of us agree on.
Right.
But that don't mean we ain't still gonna support each other. And if
Yeah.
it's something that we don't agree on, we discuss it behind the scenes. So no, Cassie don't go around just bashing everybody and debunking everybody and all that good stuff. If it's blatant, people's heads rolling down the hall, playing bowling with it, that's different stuff.
Right. Right.
But you begging for my attention then. At this point, I got the reputation. You know you're begging for it then. But
And
the reason why,
sometimes people just come for you. You don't have to be doing anything, and all of a sudden, bam, your name is out there. They done said something about you again that makes no sense. But you have to defend your character.
you
You know,
do,
a lot
and
of people don't say, "Oh, well, you should let it go." Well, not everybody, because some people, integrity is important to me. So
mhm.
if somebody's telling a blatant lie on me, yes, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna defend my character.
And it's a issue by issue basis that has to be examined. If I went back at everybody that had something to say negative about me, I would never have time to even research the case anymore.
Right.
Uh, but at the same time, if it's something that is important enough or loud enough that needs to be addressed, then yes, it gets addressed.
Mhm.
But as far as like when I was saying with that latitude and longitude,
Mhm.
when I first discovered that website, uh, like again, the reason why I say it, I don't know if the time of the year with the Earth rotating on its axis, does it make things change up a little bit? there, it was given a different location, a spot, should I say?
Mhm.
It wasn't that far off. It was closer still to the elevator area than it is to the kitchen. But I really don't speak on that because then it starts falling into the conspiracy theories that I once believed in, and a lot of people still preach, and
Right.
it's been too proven that that is not what happened. So I leave that alone. But because I know that that's where it was showing up at one point, unless I was just totally doing something wrong, which is another reason why I've tried it over and over and over so many times. To, because we're human, we can make errors.
Right.
And with that latitude and longitude, the bad part is you can't just type in the numbers and say, show me on the map where it's at. It doesn't work like that. You'll end up in Antarctica.
Right.
So I don't know, understand why. You literally have to take your mouse, click on the map, and then read the latitude and longitude and make your adjustments. Do I need to go up, down, left, right, whatever, to get closer to those exact numbers? And you've got to do that 532 times before you hit the exact both numbers. And it does not put it in the elevators. It's just close to the elevators. Now, my thing is that I've gone back to be able to compare. This is how you do research for those of y'all that are listening. I don't take that as gospel written on stone and concrete. So what I do is I went back and I looked for J Money. I went for other people that I know where they died at. Even though I don't know exactly the spot, but still, Zach Stoner, I know exactly the spot. I know the tree that he hit. I can find that on the map. So that one I can. Here's the issue. I can find J Money on there, but I don't find Zach. I don't find Little Ty. So I don't know how, if this is an annual report that the medical examiner has to do it annually, why are there some deaths not on there? And I've never really spoken on it because then you get the conspiracy people pop up. Because he's really alive in Germany, you know, some crap like that. But I don't have those answers because I'm not an employee of the Cook County Medical Examiner's office. And I doubt very seriously if I hollered at one of them on the phone that they're actually going to tell me. You know, so those days are gone with the wind as far as being able to pick up the phone and ask legitimate questions and expect a legitimate, honest answer because of all the harassment that was done from the public.
Yeah.
Because, and I say, and I know that a lot of people did it with a good heart, but I was actually shocked when I found a couple of videos from the beginning, not on YouTube. They're hidden deep into these Facebook groups that are closed up now. So if you're not a member of them, you can't get in there because they're archived. But Chasing Truth is one of them. Tracy called up to Rosemont, spoke to them. Now, on her phone conversation, I felt like she was kind of leading the person, but I know why she did that. She felt like she needed to convince them that I'm not here to bash y'all. I'm just trying to prove to the public what they're saying is crazy. But on other conversations, I've literally heard them speaking, and they got straight answers. Like there was one that, if I love to find it in my archives again, the lady called and spoke to an officer and asked him specifically, why didn't y'all include the DoubleTree footage in the case file? We know that y'all collected it, and I've tried to get it through FOIA, and they told me if it ain't in the case file, we don't have it. But we do. We have the invoice that says, excuse me, that they collected a 4 gigabyte black and red flash drive. His answer to her was, when we reviewed the footage at the DoubleTree, we were reviewing to see if any of the party goers did in fact go to the DoubleTree. Now, and we didn't find any evidence of that. That's his response was. Now, here's the thing. Two things to say. First off, we could say there's no proof that that was really a Rosemont cop. Could have been a set. Somebody could have just faked it. Well, the experience in the Kanika community, the people that are faking stuff, they're faking it to be something terrible that happened to Kanika,
Yeah.
not something that didn't happen. So I tend to believe this phone call to be real. But what it also told me was, as much as we disliked the Rosemont cops and felt like they were not doing their job properly, I've always stated I feel like it was not all of them that was failing. I believe that there was some of them, a few of them, if nothing else, that were doing it with a good heart, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Because what I got from this message is that they heard from social media there was another party going on. So they looked to see if people were going over there, and they weren't. So that tells me that they were actually doing their job.
Yeah. I agree.
Now, was other cops not doing their job? Hell yeah, they were not doing their job. But some of them were. You know,
Not everybody's gonna have the same interest in in anything that's in life.
in hearing
You
that
know.
truth.
So you may get one officer who's all into it, trying to figure stuff out, and then you have another one that's lackadaisy. He don't really
Yes.
care, So he's gonna let some things. He's not gonna investigate as he should. He's gonna let some things slide that he shouldn't have let slide. Where others are gonna just dive into the case, and we
Yeah.
see that. We see that in this case. We know the ones who made an effort to, figure some stuff out. There was a lot of things that were done in the case that were done. A lot of people don't like the way it was done, but most of it was by protocol.
It was. Like a perfect example. Nobody goes and watches my 3 videos that I have on the crime scene investigation policy handbook, where I literally broke down the whole handbook for Cook County. This is what they're supposed to do, because it's boring. I get it, not a problem. But I made the videos knowing that it was not going to get a lot of views. So that way, whenever somebody come at me, I could say, go look for yourself.
Yeah.
Because everybody brings up there was no yellow tape. Guess what? Protocol doesn't say that they need it. That's why they had the sign-in sheets.
All right.
The perimeter of the area being investigated was contained. That's the
Right.
only
It was a
purpose of that
closed
tape.
off area.
Exactly. Now, there was another thing. Oh, let me see if I still have it on my phone. With the FBI. I tried so hard to record this with my phone to the TV because I was watching Criminal Minds the other night. And they said something. And I was like, can y'all come join the Kanika case?
Hi, Catherine.
Because that's literally what has been an argument with the FBI. Let me see. I may have deleted it because oh wait, let me see. Is this it? Nope, that's Ernest. That was Chris. Okay, that ain't it. Here we go. Let's see. Is this it? Let me see. Let me turn this loud. Hold on. And they said something. Hold on. And I was like, Okay. Y'all probably can't hear that because it's very low. But the guy says, and this is the Criminal Minds show, so this is Hollywood, but they do try to base it off of factual stuff. And they were trying to take a case. I got the closed caption, so let me see if I can read this. It says, well, as much as we would like to take this case, we have to be invited by the local authorities. Because it just doesn't work that way. In other words, just like the FBI said, they have to ask us, invite us. We can't, it's not our jurisdiction, so therefore we cannot just jump in there and take over the case without just cause.
Right.
And I didn't put a whole lot of effort in trying to get that recorded because basically, in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is still Hollywood. But the fact is, that's the thing that we were told. And when you look up the law, the law validates what they said. Now, granted, I was being sarcastic in my brain. Well, the public believes everything else on TV, but they ain't gonna be listening if it's coming from me anyway. So I blew it off. But the thing is that the people don't go take that extra step and go find out. Is that what the law says? Because I've had so many people yelling at me talking about, what do you mean the FBI don't have jurisdiction? Yes, guess what? FBI has jurisdictions that they cannot cross those lines.
Exactly.
CIA, president, even the what do they call it? The private E3 at the bottom of the list. Everybody's got their boundaries. They can't just hop and go do it just because they want to.
And people just don't understand that. But that's how the law works.
And there's a reason for it. And I hope I haven't gotten any negative feedback on that last video that I put up. But I hope that people don't take it the wrong way. But there again, if people have their mind made up to think the wrong way, they will. When I said the comment about how in the groups they're saying and you've heard this a million times, Dana, they should just lock everybody up until somebody speaks and tells the truth. And I said, what if that was one of your kids that attended the party? How would you feel if the whole planet Earth is saying that about your kid? That they don't like the answers that your kid's given, therefore let's keep your kid locked up.
Yeah.
Because we're not satisfied with those answers. Of course, the lady got upset and said, don't be bringing my kids into it and whatnot. And that's when my mind went to, what's good for the goose is not good for the gander.
Right.
The same people that are hooping and hollering about equal rights, Black Lives Matters, and all that other are the same ones that are saying lock everybody up. But if it happened to one of yours, then you're going to be hooping and hollering about being unjust. You're just locking my kid up because they're black.
Right.
And that's what gets me irritated because it's like people aren't, I'm not thinking that they're treating it on a race level, even though a lot of people think it is. I think that they're treating it on the level of interactive reality TV show.
Absolutely. I said that years ago.
This is better than Survivor and Big Brother because we, the public, can actually, if we're loud enough and get enough followers, we can change the whole storyline as far as maybe not legally, but as far as the public goes.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters because we want attention.
But the thing about it is, and that's why I get so upset sometimes when I see certain people coming up here and putting out all of these false narratives, is they don't yeah, they do understand, but they just doing it like you say,
attention.
For attention, But I don't feel that way because I understand that these people are real people.
Yeah.
They have real lives. They have real emotions. you know? And so before I speak, I think. I'm not just going to blurt anything or just get on YouTube and say anything that sounds good that's going to draw me in some followers to make me feel good about myself. I'm not going to do that.
And it's not just the channel owners or group owners. It's just the regular members.
Yeah, the
I hear that
members
so
too.
much. Well, we're not entitled to our opinion. You didn't say that was your opinion. You said it was a fact.
Exactly.
You know for a fact so and so did this, that, and the third.
You can't none of us can.
And
As
and I can
far
type
we
back.
all have opinions. If we say
Where's the
something about
proof?
this case
You know,
outside of the facts that we know pertaining to the files in the footage, everything else is opinion. So we cannot address it as a fact. That's where they get caught up at. Because when they start talking like they know these things as a matter of fact, it becomes a problem.
yep,
Because it's not a matter of fact, it's your opinion, you know?
exactly. Or like
And then you have the storytellers. Oh my God. You know? I think they just make things up as they speak,
off the fly.
off the fly.
And what it is because they'll watch the chat.
That's crazy.
And somebody starts saying something, they'll feel like they'll test the waters. And so they'll agree or disagree and just test the
I mean,
waters.
you
And
know, like
whichever way it's gonna flow.
the reason why I was so upset the other night about this situation about the porn stuff.
Yeah.
That was, come on now. Here you have a girl who they found dead in a hotel freezer. Okay? The footage shows her wandering around drunk and or intoxicated or drugged or both. She's found dead. She's already found dead in a hotel freezer. Why you gotta put some more stuff on top of that story? Why do you have to add more bad stuff to the story? It's bad enough on its own.
Exactly. And but the same one that's saying that though is also saying that she was never at the hotel alive. So what they what did I forget the name for it? But what are they doing? Porn with dead people? What?
This is crazy. And if their followers would just listen to them closely, all you need to do is go on one of their lives and listen to just one of the lives. Follow their narrative closely from the time they start talking until the time they finish. You won't be so quick to go back in their chat because you're gonna know they're lying.
Well, I can say this much.
Unless you just like the entertainment.
Yes. I'm gonna start selling tickets. I can say this. I'm assuming he got that storyline. Whether he watched somebody's video, because it has been spoken on in that topical area, or if he just heard somebody saying it, I don't know. But the thing is he did not do his research to find out what the details of what he was even saying. I'm pulling it up right now. That's why I'm kind of talking like this. Okay. Let's see.
Catherine, when we started the live, I had a whole lot of trouble with the invite, with the copying and pasting, because this is my first live. So I wasn't sure of how to do that stuff. I'm gonna try it again, but I'm not sure it's gonna work, Catherine. Cassie,
Yes, I'm right here.
can you give me some instructions on how to get this done again?
Let me look at what you're doing. Okay.
I'm trying to invite.
Go to the invite button
Okay.
You click that.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? Here, let me help you out. I can copy it. I can copy it from the chat. Hold on.
Okay. Okay. Good enough.
Maybe I can't. Okay. Who wants it? Catherine?
Yeah, Catherine, maybe you might have
Catherine,
to
scroll up
scroll
just a
up.
little bit. It's not that far up. There hasn't been that many comments. Yeah, it's in the chat. Hey, B. It's not that far up because Boss and I deleted a bunch of our comments, so it's not that far up. I'm gonna screen share real quick while she's doing this.
Okay, I see her.
There was already one in the chat.
Okay, yeah, there was. That's what. All right, Dana, if you can share my screen real quick.
Okay. B, you're welcome to come up too if you want to.
All right, here we go. I specifically put in 2017 because this is when the whole case took place. How's that? Now, if you can see your screen, that is the title. If you want to call it a porn convention, that's not what it's called. It is a sex adult industry type of convention, yes.
Okay.
If you cannot tell, I'll read it to you. June 23rd until June 25th. Yes, it was across the street at the convention center, but it was months before Irene's birthday party.
Okay. So that's where he got the story from. The
Well,
storyline from.
I was going to say, because there's been a few of us, even myself, but Hell of a Chick is the main one I can say that comes to mind, that did a whole video on this.
Okay.
So whether or not somebody told him or if he saw the video, I don't know. But this is how you shut it down. It happened in June, not in September. Period. 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 But I wasn't going to indulge in engaging with him.
No. Well, I had to. I just had, when you have to get something off your chest.
I agree. But he's been saying my name so much every one of his lives. It's like he's trying to get me to speak on him, so I don't.
Yeah.
Saying
He
that
actually said that you and he were good now. In one of his lives,
he lied.
he said you guys were good now.
Who said that?
I missed it.
The other one. I'm gonna call him the other one. He's
Oh,
the other one.
What was it crazy? King Ed Lou Conley. Because he says that he's mixing all their narratives together.
Yeah.
And I listened to a couple of his lives the past couple of days. My name was still shouted out. And I ain't spoke on the man.
He's a mess.
He's
and
made a big announcement that he's coming for Teresa.
Oh yeah.
I can't listen to him, and y'all understand me.
What is it? The touchdown, I believe, is the Super Bowl or something.
I don't. Well, that was the other day.
Takedown.
Takedown.
It's called the takedown.
Which was part of the video that I made was because of the person that was on his channel. Now I'm being told that that's Tyus TV. I don't know if it is or it ain't. I used the profile name that they were showing, and I felt like I was being politically correct enough and being polite without being bashing or anything. Right. Now, if I would have thought that it was Tyus TV, maybe I would have done it differently and bashed. I don't know. But I guess it worked out the way it worked out. But they were basically like saying that she was saying specifically that it was a joke to think that Teresa would have any rights to sue anybody for defamation of character because everybody's entitled to their opinion. Well, obviously, whoever this female is, whether it's her or not, whoever this female is that I heard say those words come out of her own mouth, she's uneducated, and God forbid one day she finds out how uneducated she really is, and somebody slap a lawsuit on them.
Mm-hmm.
B said it is her.
Just to let y'all know, I do have like a bad connection because the trailer I'm in. So if I like drop off, don't worry about it. I'll be in the chat.
Okay.
It sounds like you got your hand over your mic, Catherine.
Yeah.
I said I have a bad connection in the trailer I live in. So if like I drop off, I'll still be in chat. I'll come back.
Okay.
But I did want to make a comment
Go
on
ahead.
something that y'all were talking about when I came in. If anybody used their common sense, and I'm not trying to sound mean, but if anybody used their common sense, they would know that a hotel is not going to let somebody just come and bring a body and put it in their freezer if nothing happened on their property.
Yeah. No, we're gonna drive around town from the 6th to the 9th. Like how does Brandon New say it? Leave it to Bernie, or what is it? Bernie's weekend thingy, that show.
Yeah.
Weekend at Bernie's. There we go. Just gonna hang out with the deceased body. Okay, yeah.
Because I mean that's two people. I ain't gonna mention their name. One of them was saying that she was killed in the car, and the other one was saying that she was killed somewhere else. Why would a hotel put a dead person or dead body on their property and can't get into? Really? That makes no sense.
It doesn't. But I've never gotten an answer to this yet. All the way from September of 2017. Nobody of the thousands of people that have said it, nobody can give me the answer. All you people that say this happened on the 6th and not the 9th, what would be the difference? Why would there be a need to lie? Period.
Yeah.
But mostly that rumor was started because of the ticket, right? Because the wrong date on the ticket, right?
But like I sent some information to somebody today. I said, again, you obviously don't watch my videos, and I'm gonna tell that man that until I see him watching my videos, because I've made videos on this. Everybody got tickets from the 6th. All the guests were given tickets from the 6th. And the one that we see in the screenshot, that's not even Teresa's ticket. That's Taki's ticket. So
No, I
again,
knew, but I was just saying.
That's all there is to that.
I didn't mean to talk over you, Tassie.
Huh?
I said I wasn't meaning to talk over you.
No, you're fine. It's lack of paying attention. Because I'm not the only one that has put it out there. There's been other channels, other big channels that have put it out there that the tickets were recycled. We see them at the front desk, trading them out with all the hotel guests, not just the party guests.
Yeah.
So, I mean, come on. But it's so much easier just to click on somebody else's video and say, yeah, I like that one better. Well, then keep it going. You know. Braylon, is your son around?
Gabby, we were talking about I got a chat text earlier today saying that Teresa Martin was not Kanika Jenkins' mom. So initially that's what the topic of our discussion was, and then further on down the line we branched off into other stuff. So right now we're talking about the other one and his friend and how they are making up these stories. And the other one is a man, and his friend is a woman, and you know both of them.
Dana,
I
you
just
get
don't
the
have
copy.
the energy to say their names tonight, Cassie.
That's, oh, you good. People are hitting my messenger wanting a
I don't
link to
even
the
want to,
site. You've got people coming over here on their way because they're hitting my inbox asking me, "Where's the live at? Where you at?" So they're coming. Um,
and so Cassie had just
yes,
shared her screen showing us where he possibly got the narrative from about the porn
convention.
incident, what convention
Yes,
or whatever it was. So she was just, she shared her screen and showed us that, and
and
that happened in June, I believe it was.
yes, and if you actually on YouTube, you can use the search bar on YouTube. There is videos like I say like a commercial, an infomercial, if you will,
Mhm.
announcing it, and it's the adult industry that set up a bunch of booths, just like you see at a convention. They are selling their products, whether it be outfits, toys, whatever the industry consists of.
Mhm.
But again, for that industry, I can say what I saw. It was done in the most appropriate manner that could possibly be done for that industry. It wasn't raunchy or nothing like that.
Hi,
So,
Debbie.
I mean, it is part of people say, oh, well, that's what that town's known for. Well, no, I think that town is supposed to be known for corruption. How many things is that town supposed to be known for? You know, and I hate to tell people, guess what? There's a strip club on every corner in most major cities.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, it's like, hey, Debbie, there you are. Uh, you can't just say, well, they were having a barbecue convention that weekend, so I guess they poisoned her by barbecue ribs.
Right.
That would, as ignorant as that sounds, it's still the equivalency. Because guess what? Both autopsies said there was no sexual assault.
Right. Debbie, the topic of this discussion is the misinformation of the Kanika Jenkins story. Who is Teresa Martin? Is Teresa Martin Kanika's biological mother? And so that's what we touched on when we first started, and then our conversation branched off into other stuff. So now we just talking
Okay.
right now.
Now, Dana, you didn't those screenshots that I sent you.
Mhm.
We didn't show those, but there's one specific that I want to show that has to do with the estate. The reason why I say this is because I've also heard misinformation being stated by several people in the community about the amount.
Of money, right?
Okay, there we go.
Okay, I'll add it.
Yes.
Okay.
This is from the Cook County Clerk of the Circuit Court, October the 8th, 2013. Feel free to screenshot this and you can zoom in better for yourself. Says bond of representation approved, surety allowed. Zero court fee. There's no attorney. Judge is Gregory O'Brien. Judgment amount $78,907. Now, I don't know, and it says right here, estate of Kenneth Jenkins. I don't know how an odd number like that came. If it's because they deducted attorney's fees, or I don't know. What I do know, then down here it gets cut off, and I can't find the rest of my screenshot, but it says guard of minor state appointed letters of the OFs or DFC. Okay, and what I remember of this was that this was awarded to Teresa to be able to distribute to her children. So this is in 2013,
Yeah.
not when they turned 18. And he passed away, what was it, 06? So for whatever reason, they granted it to her then. So now you're taking $78,000, even if you say 79,000. Divide that in half for Kitty and Kanika. They were not rolling in dough, big balling, and all this other stuff.
Right.
Yes, for a teenager, $35,000, was it 38,000, 39,000, whatever. Okay, 38,000 is a lot of money. But the way that these kids in Chicago go through money, and everybody says, "Oh, Kanika dressed good." I bet you a lot of that 38,000 went to the store buying her outfits. But it's not something that she was able to afford all her life. Teresa's made that clear. They have not been wealthy.
Right. She has.
And yes, for those of y'all old schools that's going to come back and say, well, we know that she's done this many. Yeah. For lack of a better term, the Jenkins and the Martins, some of the members, not the entire families, there are many documents that show that they frequent the courtroom often. And many times they have won generous amounts of money for whatever it is that they are filing suit for. But obviously they go through it very quickly, because if you continue to look, in the spring of 2017, she was also evicted for lack of payment of rent. So apparently, even though that they may get money, they've never learned how to hold on to money.
Exactly.
Which is no crime, and it's no shade on parenting, because we all blow through some money. My husband's very good at it. Scratch off and get the $500 ticket, it will be gone by tomorrow night, because it will eat a hole in his pocket till he spends it all.
Yeah.
It's part of life. So to say that, there's also stories saying that Teresa had Kenneth killed for the life insurance policy. Really? $78,000? Because right here, we got $50,000 for a car wreck. I mean, come on. Do better.
Yeah.
Do better. Y'all got to come up with something better. That ain't gonna cut it.
It doesn't.
And I ain't leaving them all up there for y'all to go do your own research, because it took me a hell of a time to get those.
They just want to make Teresa out to
They're
be
trying
this.
to make her look like the devil himself.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, when you run into somebody, and I've said this fluently since 2018 when I realized it. And this is for myself as well. When somebody has false information and you present them with proof of facts, like, hold my hand, we're walking outside, now look up, that sun is shining. And if you're still going to tell me that that sun is not shining, you are deliberately wanting to tell a lie and spread a lie.
Yeah.
Same thing goes with this case. Once, and I don't bash people. I don't feel like I bash people, because I've given you the truth about something if I have the information to give. If you choose to go on and ignore it and tell false information, again, case by case basis, depending on what it is, will depend on whether or not I'm going to keep speaking on you or not.
Right.
But that's all I can do. I can't force you to tell the truth, but I can expose you for purposely lying.
And I mean, the other one, he gets a kick out of everything that happens on YouTube, because basically what he's trying to do, and it came out of his mouth, is that he's creating a name for himself.
Exactly.
So, and people are speaking about him, so that that boosts his ego, and so that's
Exactly.
why I'm not gonna say his name.
Exactly. And that's why last night on the live, what happened, we had a very good discussion going on. And somebody showed up and said the name, and the numbers fell, and they wanted to go see the drama. And
Right.
I spoke to that person today, and I said, "Don't do that no more, please,"
Yeah.
because two reasons: you're disrupting my life, but you're also feeding theirs.
Exactly.
Now, Debbie has a point down here. You see her comment there? If you click on it, it will show up on the screen.
Okay.
I'll teach you another trick like that.
Show.
There you go.
All right.
She says, but even if Teresa got that money, it could be ordered that only could get so much a month or had to provide receipts. Yes, she'll be audited annually. Then when the kids turn 18, they receive the remainder of that money. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Now to get that off, all you do is click on the comment again in the chat there. There you go.
Okay. All right.
Now you learned a new trick.
I learned a new trick. So yeah, and I mean, she got this money in 2013, so that means her kids were still fairly young,
Yes.
which
Because
means that she
Tanika was,
still had basically control over that money.
yes, but in my mind, as a mom, that's the equivalency to child support.
Exactly.
Like, you hear all these kids talking about that's my money, that's my money. No, that money is to keep a roof over your heads, food in your belly, and clothes on your back. Now, what each parent does on their own, that's your own household.
Right.
But the way that the courts have it set up, that's the intention. Now, in some households get more money than cover the entire family and the in-laws, house and roof and clothes and food. Others, it's a slap in the face and a spit in the face. $200 a month don't do nothing for no kid nowhere in America.
No.
But you take it anyway because it is still what you had. But still, either way, these parents are these people in the public talking about she had a life insurance policy. First off, ain't none of y'all show proof that she had a life insurance policy on Kanika. Second off, are you going to tell me that you don't have insurance on your children? And you better think about it before you speak, because you're going to make
Well,
yourself look
yeah. I
bad.
mean, but it's so, and I hate to say this, but in a lot of black communities across America, it's not common for them to insure their family members. And that's why so many of them have to sell plate lunches when
Yeah.
that time comes,
Yes.
you know, because
That used to be a
they
white
don't,
thing, and
I
it's
don't
now
know what it
become
is,
it now become that white people can't even afford the funerals no more. Yeah, they can't
it's
because
not
they
that they
can't
can't
afford the
afford it,
insurance.
it's just that they just don't do it.
They can.
It's not something that is important to them until that time comes and they're begging on social media.
Yeah, I don't know if they can afford it or not. I assume that they can't afford it because I've looked at it, and I'll put it like this: if I didn't have to pay car insurance, which I've never ever used in my entire life, then I'd be able to afford life insurance.
It's not that expensive, Cassie. I mean, for the basic, like what I have, I think it's $25,000 policy, which is enough for me. And I pay $35 a month.
I
It's not
pay
that expensive.
my car insurance, no tickets, no wrecks, no nothing. Never used it in my life. Bare minimum in Texas is liability,
Hmm.
which means it only covers 20%. I mean, 20,000 property and 20,000 bodily on the other person
Right.
if I'm at fault. And I pay $60 a month on an older vehicle. It's not even a new vehicle.
Yeah.
So that's, to me, that's like what, almost $700 a year, or 700 something, $720 a year.
Hmm.
I could get me $50,000 life insurance policy, or 25 and 25, me and my husband. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
he finally got that age. I'm gonna check in the AARP. But still, it's like people make it sound like it's such a, oh my God, they got insurance. They must be trying to kill their kid.
Right.
Really?
If they only knew how expensive a funeral is these days.
Ooh, even for the cheapest pine box, no
And
frills.
and with this COVID stuff going on, I mean, there's all kind of new policies that they interacted. Like when my dad died, um, usually they'll let you go ahead on and plan the funeral, and you can have the the
A
funeral.
payment.
But for us, even though he had insurance, we had to come up with the money up front before that policy even before they even got hands on the policy. They
Yeah,
knew he had it, but they needed to have their money.
yeah.
A percentage of the money, which was like 90% of
Mm,
the whole cost of the funeral, okay?
yeah.
So that means that everybody had to, dig into their little savings and do whatever they had to do to get these people almost $8,000 cash
And
within a few days, knowing that he had insurance coming in.
that's another thing. People don't even do their little savings accounts anymore because I thought that it was because they couldn't afford it. I'm realizing now it's more so because so many have scammed on getting assistance that check to see if they got bank accounts.
Yeah.
So that way they're not having bank accounts no more. And or maybe not even scam. Maybe it's just the way that they got to do it. But at the same time, it's like, the world's changing, the world's evolving. But still, if you are fortunate enough that you can get a life insurance policy or even an accidental uh, injury, what do you call it? Just regular health insurance, I guess you call it. I don't have health insurance. I don't. Doesn't matter what the president said. I still get to file my income taxes. Ain't nobody touch my taxes still. I don't have health insurance
Yeah.
because yes, if I gotta go, that's a big bill at the time. But it's the same thing like with my car insurance. I don't use it. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to keep putting money into something that I'm not using.
That you're not
But
using.
I don't remember when my cousin, my aunt and uncle had a baby. It had to be in the 80s. The baby died after a couple of months. But I'll never forget this. You're not expecting that.
No.
And I think this is probably because Gerber had their little $5,000 plan for $1 that everybody sees all in the junk mail. But
Right.
ever how they planned the funeral, okay, it wasn't fancy or nothing like that. But at the gravesite, my mom got upset, angry. And as a child, of course, we didn't know what was going on. We found out later. But the man that had walked up to my uncle and said something that got my mom upset was the guy from the funeral home, the director.
Mhm.
And he told my uncle, okay, so how do you want to handle up on this bill? Right there at the cemetery.
Oh yeah.
So yes, as an adult now, I kind of get it because what's going to happen is it's done and over with. If you don't pay the bill right then and there, what can the funeral home do to you? Go dig the body up and bring it back to your house and say, okay, you ain't paid your bill. That's not going to happen. So they probably did get ripped off by a lot of people not
Yeah.
paying bills. So they kind of have to do things a certain way so that they can get their expenses covered.
Yeah.
But again, the $5,000 policies, the $10,000 policies, that's not covering it. And if
No,
you're
it's
lucky
not.
enough to get the Social Security or SSI, whatever that is, what is that? $255 on the first spouse and $250 on the second spouse. That's $250. I don't even know if you could get the pillow for that.
Right. You may be
It's
able to get
crazy.
some flowers. I don't know. But yeah.
Well, depending on which shop you call it. Our shop that my mom used to have, you could probably get you two good sprays going on.
Things have changed.
But it's like in this community, it's so filled with hypocrisy. It's
Hmm.
pathetic.
It is.
And God forbid you call somebody out on it. Debbie said, believe it or not, prices have gone up since COVID.
They have.
It doesn't surprise me that they would, even though they're not allowed to, at least with like hurricanes and stuff, they're not supposed to price gouge, but I'm sure they did.
It has, Cassie. I'm telling you.
I'm sure they did.
The what was it? The plot was $3,500 when it was $1,500 before COVID.
Yeah.
So everybody's price gouging. Everybody's making money off of
Well,
COVID.
what I wonder what the law says about
Yes, Debbie.
locations of burial. I'm sure that there's some kind of city ordinance of it, but they don't do things so bad. People's gonna have to go back to old school and just bury them in the backyard. Set up a little corner of the family.
Have you actually taken time to go and look at a cemetery post COVID?
No,
They're full.
I bet. I used to do in Texas. I did do it. I did frequent the cemetery almost weekly from 2000 until I would say like 2014, something like that. And then I started doing it again the last couple of years before I moved with my granddaughter, so I could start teaching her about death and kind of what happens, that type of thing. And so we would go up there. We would like clean up the cemetery, the weeds, the everything, stuff like that. Uh, but that was again all pre-COVID. I'm looking at it, yeah.
Yeah.
Jay, she had all her organs, so they could not have killed her for her organs. And on top of that, nobody knew for sure that she was going to be there. She told everybody she was going to the movies. And both medical examiners, the Cook County and the private one, said she had all of her organs. So if that was the intent, they screwed up. I'll give you that much leash.
Oh yeah.
And they would have had to involve a psychic to tell them that it was. I can't even get the words out without choking on it. To tell them that she was going to be there because nobody knew she was going to be there. You see, guy got me around the throat and choked me like a chicken. Come here. Quit playing.
Yeah.
People think I played too much. I'm telling y'all, God sits right here on this bed and he will hit me in the head. He will choke my throat. Everything else.
So, Cassie, let's clear this up.
Let's clear it
The
up.
time frame in which, from the time Kanika passed, well, we're not sure of the time she actually passed, but how long was it did she stay in that freezer?
I can tell you this.
Let's do this for some of the viewers like Jay who may not know, because my question, the reason why I'm asking you this question is because I need him to understand that Kanika was in there for a certain amount of time. So
Yes.
even if that were the theory of for her organs, they wouldn't go ahead on it. It wouldn't have been good by the time they got her out of there.
The organs would not have been any good. But let's say, since we don't have any proof of evidence of concrete to say any different, if she went into the freezer at 3:33, which I don't believe, but we'll go with that, and then she was found at 12:23. So that is what, 3 hours shy of 48 hours? Is that correct? Yeah.
Hi, Gabriel.
So that'd be 45 hours. And I will be right back. Daddy's calling again.
Okay. Yeah, so within that time frame, her organs would have been no good. It would have been of no use to any. They couldn't use them because the body is dead, so the organs die as well. you know. And there's no such thing as freezing organs either. You cannot freeze organs and then go transplant them into somebody else's into somebody's body. It doesn't work that way. That organ has to be a viable organ in order for to be transplanted. So that theory doesn't. I mean, it it's not even a theory. It's just something that somebody said in the beginning. A lot of people said that in the beginning when Kanika died, and they just ran with it because again, it sounded interesting. It sounded good to the ear. But it's not plausible. It's not something that can be done. You cannot transplant organs that have been sitting in a dead body for any amount of time into a living vessel. That is impossible. We're talking about a young girl who was in a freezer for a lengthy amount of time. When the coroner got to her, when the medical examiners got Kanika, they brought her over to the coroner's office for autopsy. They didn't bring her to the hospital for organ transplant.
No, they took her to the morgue,
They
and
brought
they
her
did
to
the
the morgue,
autopsy at
yeah.
10 a.m. Um, Now we can say this: if you really, really, really want to do the research and break it down, you'd have to go back and look at the time frame of rigor mortis. Now,
Exactly.
I felt like she was coming out of rigor mortis when they found her, but being that the medical examiner said at 10 a.m. she was in full rigor mortis, that would mean that she was just really kind of going into the rigor mortis. Okay? But either way, at the point of death, at that moment, there is no time frame if there is not a machine hooked up to those organs that has oxygen and blood flowing through them. They will be dead just as fast as she is.
Right.
Now, yes, you can take the organs and keep them alive for X amount of hours on a machine.
And that's what I said. The organs have to be viable in order to be transplanted.
And I can vouch for that because my mother was supposed to be a kidney transplant patient. They had something go wrong with the surgery, and she died. Or she got peritonitis, and then she died. But still, my aunt was a double lung transplant successfully. She's going on her third year. Somebody never smoked a day in her life. Did that. So I do know what it takes, not just to be a receiver or a donor, but the whole procedure. And you can't just take, oh, Dana, you got the same blood type as me. Let me have your kidney. It don't work like that. Even if it's your own blood, flesh and blood. When my mom was being tested for possible recipients to give her possible donors to give her a kidney, my aunt was the only one that popped up as being a match. Which, like I said, my mom passed away. She wasn't able to do it, which turned out to be the same aunt that got double lungs later. And I can tell y'all a wonderful story. Her middle son, his wife is a school teacher. And a few years prior to my aunt's transplant, one of my cousin's wife's students needed a kidney transplant, and his wife gave her one of hers, a student. You don't see stuff like that happen in the world, hardly at all. But he was not. They could not find a match even within his own family,
Yeah.
and she happened to match. So, yeah, you can't just pop up and say, "Let's go down to the kitchen and cut it out and put it in one of these Walmart
Oh,
coolers and wheel it around the hotel for a good hot minute on footage, and then we're gonna take it out and put it in the van and drive down to Yonder Way. It don't work like that.
no.
What is Jay saying?
Jay is saying, let me put his
Oh,
comment
the
up.
black market. Okay, well, you can you can research this because this is where I learned about the organs that are used for not living transplants.
Hmm.
Yes, it's not illegal to buy or sell organs and body parts, all that good stuff. Guess what? It's not even illegal. The only legal part about it is the procedures and handling of the body parts or organs or whatever. So, yes, you can call up 1-800 I need a brain, and those numbers will pop up, and you call who's got the best price, and you can say, I need a brain of an Alzheimer patient type thing. But those are going to be colleges, medical colleges for
Yeah, those are for
students.
research.
So research customers are not buying off of the black market. And they do, they slice it up like some ham. They sell them pieces. That is, I mean, it's crazy and gross, and that's why I can't put it on my channel because YouTube would slap me sideways.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot researching that.
Hmm.
Again, they would have had to know Kanika was going to be there for that to have even been going on. They have been doing transplants in dirty hotel rooms. I've never seen any proof of that. The only thing I've seen proof of in my 50 years on this planet was with as far as dirty anything, whether it be hotel rooms or dark alleys, was abortions probably 50 years ago,
Yeah.
not organ transplants. People would not survive, they wouldn't make it. There's a lot of urban legends and ghost stories and stuff that go around, especially different cultures in the United States have a lot more stories here and there, but there's never been shown proof of that actually really happening. Jay saw pics, what?
Have been finding dead women.
Okay, if
I
it's
don't
on
know.
the dark web, you should be able to screen record it, and I'd love to see it.
At an apartment in a big city.
Well, if that's the case, Anna, then there should be a link for the news story that you read that from, and you feel free to share it with us because we're all about gaining knowledge. Because if that's going on with proof and evidence that it's really going on, we would love to be able to speak on that.
Yeah.
We're always looking for knowledge. Don't mean don't think we're not going to run it through the microscope, but I appreciate it because if in fact that's true, I would have to say that they qualified for the dumbest criminals of the week or the month, something, because you
Right.
can't do it. It's just you're not. It's not happening.
They carry them in ice.
This is not World War II. Uh, Somebody getting blown up, and let me just stick my hand in here real quick. Or what was those shows I was watching? The originals
Hmm.
where the
That's why it's
vampire
very,
his hand in
you
his
know,
chest and it pulls the heart out. It's
it's
not
very
happening.
important to know what you're talking about before you speak. Think before you speak, and you know, do some a little bit studying because a lot of times when we speak on things, like I said, it sounds good to us, but when we get into the research of that stuff, then we realize that that's not how it goes.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just not how it goes.
Anna said she
You
saw it
know?
in the documentary. She's gonna go look for it. Documentaries are great.
Yeah, I
They can
love
be boring,
documentaries too.
but they're great. But even still, you need to fact check what's being said in that documentary
Exactly.
because I can make a documentary and I can make it believable and it can be full of crap.
Right. Well, shoot, they have a few of them about Kanika, and they were all, they were full of crap.
Yep.
They had books being written about this kid, and it was full of crap and lies.
Yep. And some of them crapping lives with some of my content chopped and screwed. And that's why I went hard on that lady.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep going hard on her. Because if you're not telling the full story, then you're lying.
Yeah.
Because it's your responsibility as an author of a book or
Exactly.
a documentary to cover all the bases. And somebody such as myself from the public that is a nobody with no degrees and nothing in that field, I should not be able to just look at it and say bing, bang, boom, and prove you wrong.
Right. Right.
I said it a long time ago and I'll say it again now. I refuse to believe that there are not other people in this community that don't have the same knowledge that I have, because I don't have a degree with this stuff.
It's I think it's you know life experiences have a lot to do with our perception about the case. Some of us
Yeah.
are more knowledgeable in different areas than others, and so when we present as when we present our information, it comes across, and most people can believe it because we just simply know what we're saying. It's the truth. We know what we're saying. So and the people feel that. People feel that.
But that I think
Versus
that's part of the problem is because just because it happened to you and your family member doesn't mean that it pertains here.
exactly.
It
I
can be
agree.
something to look at, but it does not mean that that's what happened here.
I agree. And let me give you an example about what I'm speaking about when I say life experiences. When we talk about Teresa Martin filing this civil lawsuit, the reasons why I can speak so boldly about it and kind of understand her mind frame is because it's something that I experienced. And being that I didn't know what to do. I knew my child was wronged, and I knew these people were telling me one thing, and that's how it was. And so now I was angry and I was frustrated at everybody around me, and I just wanted to get them back because they hurt my baby, and it was nothing I can do legally and criminally about it. And so my only other option was to file a civil lawsuit.
Yeah.
And so I get it in that regard when it comes to her filing that lawsuit. As far as for her saying that nothing happened to her baby, she was only going off the information they had given her because they said it was an accident. What else could she have done at that point? You got these people in authority telling you your baby died. That was an accident. She walked into this freezer, she fell asleep, and she froze to death.
Exactly.
That's what they told her.
I think she announced that right away to Facebook, social media, because she had been on social media helping, look for her child, putting out messages. So she wanted to let the folks know, y'all can stop looking. They found her, she's dead. Now, I'm sure as soon as she hit the end button on that live, her mind got to thinking. And that's when the questions started popping up.
Absolutely.
That's natural.
Because
She has a lot going on and being overwhelmed and not being all the way in 100% physical health at that time.
right.
the infection and whatever medication that she was on due to the infection. So did she get the dishwasher kitchen mixed up with the camera in the other kitchen? Yes, because she says I pointed to it. That's the only camera we see her pointing to.
Right.
It was the dishwasher kitchen. It was not in the kitchen where they said they found Kanika.
Right. So yeah, I mean,
And also, if you want to look at it from a gang's point of view, this is something that I felt when I first day learning of this. I felt like the way that she said it, it made me feel like a confirmation that they were, as far as Teresa's family, was associated in some form or fashion because of the way she said it. She said, for the book, for the record, nobody did nothing to her. Now, as intelligent as I may sound at times, there are some things that really fly over my head. When she said the book, it never occurred to me she was talking about Facebook. For me, that was what I knew from the Texas gangs. They still got the book. They still have the 5 heads that go sit at the table when they have their meetings, and names are written in books. So I took that's what she was saying. So nobody go do any retaliation because we don't know nothing yet.
right, right.
Now, if she would have been told something, and if it would have been like a gang hit, and it was the ops and blah, blah, all that good stuff, like a lot of people try to throw in, well, of course, I would think that she would not publicly. But if she was all that, like a lot of people have said she is or whatever, then yeah, I could see her saying, okay, put a green light on such and such, da 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 da. But we ain't seen no effects of that. As much as people try to say that, I think they more so say it's Kanika's ghost coming back with karma.
Right.
And that's why y'all's comments get deleted off my channel. But it's like people hate it when I say it. She
But
did
you
not,
know what really, really, really,
deserve for her life to end. But whatever you blame her friends and those party goers for, she was 100% part of that same lifestyle. Period. Gabrielle, you can see your comments.
you're right, Cassie. she
So,
was a part of that lifestyle.
like I said with the clothing, everybody talking about, oh, they was all jealous because she was always on point, blah, blah. Well, yeah, if you got money coming from a settlement, you were selling pills by her own admission, and you were clocking in at a job. You ain't got to pay rent. Your only expenditure is partying and clothes.
Right.
So yeah, she could afford to dress nice. That was not her 24/7 all her life. And there were plenty of times that she shared with her friends and her friends shared with her. And all you got to do is go back and look at the history. I know the family has made a lot of her Facebook private to where y'all can't see it now. I don't know Twitter if they ever went and made that private or not. But hey, raise your hand and ask me. I screen recorded a lot of it. A lot of it. And that's why I can honestly say pretty much anything you could say about any of her friends, or like y'all call them so-called friends, they were her friends. They were all like 2 peas in a pod. They were all just alike.
Mm-hmm.
They played a lot. They played jokes on each other a lot. They clowned with each other. The whole live where everybody likes to bring up, Kanika had a knife and Maya called her a snitch and da-da-da. Well, guess what? At the very first second of that live, she also says, calling the other one Wendy Williams. Does that mean that they were really Wendy Williams? No, they were playing. They went into the live playing. So the whole snitching comment, it was a joke. More than likely, if you ever had teenagers, more than likely what was done is like, maybe Maya's mama asked her something and Kanika said, yes, she did, playing around. So now Maya says, she had Kanika snitch. Had nothing to do with nothing important.
Yeah.
That was never seen on the live. But from that one little sentence, this whole community has gone berserk.
Yeah.
Kanika was a snitch, and that's why she was killed. You people that say those things, please don't investigate nothing about anybody I know, including myself, ever. Because you will have the cops chasing their tails.
Chloe, you have a question from Brazy.
Brazy, most of the people here know that story. It's a very long story for me to break down. But he was killed December 23rd of 2014. He was shot and killed. The fight started at a bar. He ran. They shot. It goes into a lot more than I was even able to break down with you on the phone. When Chicago came out with the whole mutual combatant law or ordinance, whichever way y'all call it over there, his case was the very first one that they went back in 2015 and changed the death certificate from homicide to mutual combatants. That's another part of the story there that I didn't get a chance to tell you. There's a whole lot of history there. For Chicago to have such a big population, you think that it was Mayberry, the way people are connected in Chicago. His brother got killed with the shooting. According to the news media, they say that it was driving down the Dan Ryan Expressway, another vehicle shot into the vehicle. From what I was told by somebody in Chicago, it was the stud that Carl was referring to that walked up to the car that they were sitting in and opened fire. She was killed a few years after Leonore's baby daddy. From what I was told, it wasn't that he was involved. It was only because he was best friends with the one that did the crime. I don't know, because I wasn't at the bar, and I don't know anybody that was at the bar when the fight broke out. But it would be safe to assume that the way that they work in Chicago is like, hey, where's so-and-so? And him knowing whatever, because they are best friends, I'm sure they had words. But it's never been proven that he was involved. But I will say this, because of that being her baby daddy and him being involved in her family for so many years, Kanika did refer to him as brother. And the public did mistake that by thinking Kanika's brother had been killed. He was not her brother. He was nothing more than Leonore's baby daddy, who during her second pregnancy by him with the twins, they had broke up. They were not even together during her whole pregnancy. He was with another female. Did he show back up for the delivery? Did he take part? No, I'm sorry, I take that back. Those kids were only born for 2 weeks when he got killed. But he was there for the delivery. He was there for the baby shower. His brother, his family, they have been involved with the twins as they've grown up, yes. Because that's their flesh and blood as well.
Right. Such a sad, sad story.
Now, I've never found a reason why, specifically why Levante was murdered, But again, Gracie, you know better than anybody in this chat right now. 2011, 2012, straight up war zone. Straight up. This happened in January of 2013. He was from the Greens, Yasuo. There is no proof that Kanika was uncomfortable at all. People say that, but if y'all will remember, Kanika walked in with Monifa. Irene did not want Monifa there. Irene and Sakara and Chalo started mean mugging and giving Kanika attitude for bringing Monifa there. That's where the irritation got started. Had nothing to do with Ty Rowland because Ty Rowland hadn't even arrived yet. When we hear Kanika talking in Irene's live, Ty's not there. So all these stories about her being uncomfortable and blah, 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 if there was even any truth to it, it still had nothing to do with Ty Rowland because he had not arrived yet. He doesn't even show up for another half hour, and that's to the property. We don't know what time he actually went in the room because his live didn't start for another hour after Irene's live started. All right, Washington Post, 10,000 organs, mostly kidneys, 10% are illegal. It's illegal to sell your organs. I'm still looking, so you don't have to respond. I'm just reading it out loud. All right, let me see what I can find.
Right, Debbie. That's what they believe. I don't think J Money was any close, any closer to finding out who killed Kanika than any of us are. You know, that's just what the public believes. Some people in the public.
I can speak on J Money as far as, let me type this last word here, illegal. He wanted to find out what happened so bad. He started listening to the lies from the public.
Yeah.
And what the public didn't realize, Anna, I found the article. What the public didn't realize is that people that they were telling J Money killed his niece were friends of J Money's. I have the conversation from Messenger.
Yeah.
Screenshot it. Now, is it reasonable to think that maybe J Money could have pissed people off by asking them questions that they had nothing to do with any of that business? Maybe. But because he wasn't the smartest student in the classroom, I'll put it like that. He had a good heart, but he wasn't the smartest student. I have always blamed the public for getting him killed, even though I may be wrong, because that's just my anger with the public lying to him. Specifically, there's certain people that lied to him, which are the same people that invented the Kimberly profile.
Cassie, keep the chat going until I come
Okay.
back. I need to step
I'm
away
reading
for a
this
minute.
article that Anna has brought to our attention about the organs. Okay, Anna, I'm reading it right now. It says Pakistani police raided an apartment near the capital Islamabad and released 24 people who were locked inside. This is from December 7th of 2016. So we're not even in America, for one. Brought and held there through deception and threats. The terrified men and women were waiting to be taken to a clinic to have a kidney removed. unwilling participants in a global phenomenon known as organ trafficking. Here are some of the key facts and insights about this illicit activity and the efforts against it. What is organ trafficking? The sale and purchase of human organs for transplantation is a widespread crime. Estimates put the worldwide number of commercial transplants involve payment for organ at about 10,000 annually. 10%, roughly 10% of all transplants. In most cases, organs is a kidney sold by a living person illegally. Many countries have laws that prohibit the selling and buying of organs and ban physicians from transplanting organs obtained through payment. This practice is also banned by the World Health Organization, which require organ donations to be, I don't know what that word is, altruistic. Let's see. Unable to obtain an organ at home, patients from rich countries might choose to travel to developing countries, which they can buy the organ and have it transplanted in the developing country. Organ brokers lure poor, uneducated individuals into selling their kidneys through the promise of financial gain and a better future. So what they're talking about in this article is basically if a rich, which actually debunks the whole Selena thing with Kanika. They're saying rich people go to poor countries and offer a third world family money for one of their kids' organs, their kidneys, because you can still live with just one kidney. And they're saying that that's illegal. So just by that alone would completely omit Kanika at all. All right, let me see. Debbie says, just like everyone insists that money got killed because he was getting close to providing who killed Kanika, or proving, I'm sorry. Brazy says, I believe he got killed for asking too many questions. And then we got a robot. And then Debbie says, or anytime somebody that gets killed that even might have known Kanika, they say that they are dropping like flies or karma, not thinking that this is their lifestyle. Bingo, exactly. That's why I just said. That's why the comments get deleted off my channel. Gabrielle says he blocked the robot. I forgot. I wasn't. Yeah, I tried to. I realized I wasn't on my own channel either. Again, going by the article that Washington Post put out 5-6 years ago from Pakistan, or wherever the hell I said it was wrong, that should completely omit any speculation about Kanika and organs and anything like that, because it just don't happen here in the United States like people try to make it sound like it does.
I'm back.
I don't think that there is enough money. Not even Selena Gomez have enough money. And yes, I know her personally because my son was going to marry her when he was 5 years old. She's from San Antonio. But I don't even think she has enough money to make a doctor risk his entire career that he spent a lifetime to get to. Probably has 3 children in college and double-ass mortgage to risk doing that. No, I'm not gonna believe it. Y'all got to show me the photographs. I'll be happy with a photograph. You don't even got to show me footage. I'll be happy with the photograph. Just make sure it's authentic, because I'm gonna send it off to get it forensically analyzed. That's just me. Other people might say, yeah, that's it. But again, like I said, the article is factual, but it's rich people going to third world countries, buying a kidney, not killing the person, just buying a kidney because they can live with one. That is illegal. And they're saying that it's being done in third world countries because of them being so poor and needing money so bad just to survive, to eat their porridge or whatever it is that they're eating. But that's still, it's not Chicago, it's not Kanika, it's not the United States. And the article was 6 years old, Debbie. I mean, Dana. So I
How
did
did
find
what? Oh, that article that
I did find
Dana
it. It
had
was from Pakistan,
from Pakistan.
something like that.
Okay.
Let me see. It does talk about it. It's just like I said, it's Pakistani police. Yeah,
Right.
it was in Islamabad. I want to say Istanbul, but that ain't how it's spelled. So Islamabad. But like I said, it's
Debbie, actually, I'm not confused about that because, um, I just think that her, she was in rigor mortis at the time that they took the photographs of her in the freezer. But when they took her out and put her on the stretcher, she had her muscles had relaxed by then.
well, that would be saying she came out of rigor mortis, and because of the medical examiner saying at 10 o'clock that she was in full rigor mortis, I believe that the reason why they had all those officers go back there, it wasn't just to lift her to the stretcher. I think it was to pop them muscles and make her lay flat. Now, should they have done that or not? I don't know. But to be in full rigor mortis and to be able to relax, that comes after the fact. So you can't have they can't have that both ways. But they would explain why all those officers all went back there when they were actually putting her on the stretcher. It would be to straighten her, pull her straight.
But that's illegal, though, Cassie.
I don't know if it is or it isn't.
If I mean, if that is the case, and Teresa ever found that out, that's another lawsuit. You're not supposed to
If the
break.
medical examiner was there and approved it,
No, you can't break
would it still
anybody's
be?
bones.
Well, it's not really breaking the bones. They say it's breaking it's popping the muscles, like when you pop your knuckles and stuff. Because it's the muscles that's hardened up,
Yeah, the
and that
muscles get
snapping.
rigid.
I would personally feel like it might interfere with anything that might be discovered in the autopsy.
Absolutely, it would.
But again, without knowing whether or not Summers gave them permission to do it, I don't know. That's a letter that would have to be written to Summers and ask them. I
Yeah,
doubt
Debbie, I was just trying to answer your question as best I could. For the people who are confused.
And you know what? I can tell y'all, between Debbie and Dana, I don't know how much y'all have ever spoken to each other, but because I know both of y'all, I've known Debbie longer. I think Dana and Gabby I met about the same time. But Debbie and Dana, I could say that y'all two ladies, when it comes to the medical stuff, y'all are pretty close on levels of knowledge. Just the discussions that we've had. Debbie's actually participated in the medical field, is where her knowledge has come from. You have family members, but you, like myself, I have never punched the time clock on a medical career. But because of my experiences between my dad and whatever, yeah, if I had to, yes, there's some medical procedures I could perform if I had to. I just really don't want to.
Yeah.
So yes, so you have that knowledge.
And you see, that's why I say life experiences,
Make
you
a
know,
difference.
it changes your perception and the way you see things, because if you have personal knowledge of certain things, then you can say, oh, this is not how it goes. It's
Yes.
just not.
And
That's what I mean when I say
I'm gonna
life
use
experiences.
your example with your son in this next statement.
Uh-huh.
You could have easily said, because the cops did my son wrong, I know for a fact the cops did Kanika wrong,
No.
because that's what you had happen in your life. And that's what a lot of people are making that same mistake in doing. And that's why I give you the most respect that I do give you, because you are unbiased despite what your life experiences has been.
Mm-hmm.
It's come into play to benefit you with knowledge, but it hasn't prevented you from being unbiased.
No, absolutely not.
And that's what makes the difference between a average content creator and a great content creator.
Now,
You may not have 1,000 videos,
no,
but what you have out there, you can stand on, and nobody
absolutely.
can knock you off of it.
Absolutely. The what I was gonna say about was it the topiramate?
So, Pyramid,
Yeah. When I
the,
got into study of that, Cassie,
uh-huh,
when I went to the dosage,
uh-huh.
okay, I was like, okay, there's gotta be some way I can figure this out
And that's what
because
Big Boss has been running into, because my definition of therapeutic level and his definition of therapeutic level
it's totally different.
seem to be clashing.
Hmm.
That's why I said I was going to sit back and eat my cookies. But then
And
y'all didn't
so
talk.
what I did was, of course, since I don't have firsthand experience in the medical field as far as giving medications and stuff like that, I went to my sisters.
Yes.
Okay? Now, check this out. I have one who's a nurse and the other one is a doctor. Okay? And they both told me, you can't figure this out. And so when they told me I couldn't figure it out, I said, I'm going to prove both of you wrong. And I will figure it out. And Cassie, I studied for weeks.
I remember.
I'm not lying to you. I studied for weeks. I said it trying to say I can't do this. I guarantee you I'm going to do it.
That's that sibling rivalry coming in.
Yes. And when I broke it down and brought it to them, they was like, I can't believe you did that.
Yes. And that's what I want you to be able to show Boss when y'all get an opportunity to talk.
I will.
Because I could not repeat it to him because I didn't remember it all.
My thing was,
And I didn't want to get it wrong.
if it can be put into the body and analyzed, you can take it out the body and analyze it.
Yes.
So if you're giving me numbers that you're saying comes out of her body, then I need to know how it goes back into the body, how it breaks down in the body.
Yes.
And Cassie, I studied it. I figured that out. And I brought it back to these two ladies. And they were like, I can't believe you did it. And guess what? Y'all might have some degrees and look, now I'm about to curse.
Uh-oh.
But guess what? I'm still y'all big sister.
There you go.
Apples don't fall far from the tree.
Thank
Y'all just got more education.
you.
But y'all don't have more knowledge.
Don't mean your
You
brains
understand?
bigger.
Oh yeah. I figured it out. And they were like, You're right.
And in all fairness, though, think about it. A doctor, now he's just quicker with it because he has more experience at it. But when a doctor writes a prescription, whether he's doing it in his head, and I've seen them do it on chicken scratch paper, they got to figure out, this is your body weight, this is your
Right.
age, this is whatever it is that is wrong with you. So now I have to decide what milligrams to give you and how often to give it to you, to where it's going to wear off when it's time to take that next dosage. So yes, they, with their experience in the field, they can do a lot of those numbers in their head, whereas you have to break it down with a calculator or whatever else.
Right.
But it's still the same process.
I had to research and study.
Exactly.
Trial and error.
You mean
Because
work? You
I
had to
don't have
work
knowledge in you,
skills to it.
you have to know the pharmaceutical math and all of that. I didn't have knowledge about any of that. But if you want to learn, Like you always say, Google is free.
Google is free, even if you got to go to McDonald's. Debbie's got a question there for you.
What did I figure out about the medication?
Yeah.
I was able to figure out that how her autopsy reads about, and I let me see if I could pull up that autopsy so I don't misquote anything about the amount of topiramate that she had in her system. That they're telling us that 3,000, what is it, nanograms?
3,000.
3,000 nanograms is a therapeutic level, when 3,000 nanograms is only 3 grams,
milligrams.
milligrams, which is basically nothing. The pill comes in 25 milligrams, they come in 50 milligrams, and I think they come in 100 milligrams. There is one that comes in a capsule form. I'm not sure of the dosage. But to figure out that, Debbie, I had to go into pharmaceutical math in order to understand what was going on and why. I don't have an answer as to why they put it in the autopsy as a secondary contributing factor to her death, because it was such a little amount. Now I don't know what is your what is your title in the medical field, but maybe you could help us out with that, because 3,000 milligrams is broken down into 3 grams, but it's not at a therapeutic level, because in order for her to have a therapeutic level, she had to have a consistency of a normal dosage, be it 25 milligrams up to 100 milligrams for at least 2 weeks. So, and then you get into the half life of the drug itself and how that works. Right, it's 3 milligrams, boss, and so that's not a lot. So I had to break down the 3,000 nanograms, convert it back into milligrams, and then divide I did all kind of stuff, and I'm not good at math. But just because somebody told me I couldn't do it, I had to prove them wrong. Number one, because there's nothing that I can't do. My God say I can do all things through Christ who strengthened me. So with a little prayer
A lot of
and a
prayer.
little and a little time in research and study, I
We,
figured the problem out. And boss, I'm gonna go back into my folders and see if I could find all of you know, the notes and stuff that I had taken down for that, and I'll share that with you. But let me tell you something. There is no way, from what I know, now this is something I can speak matter of factly. There is no way that is at a therapeutic level. It would be more. It would have to at least be 25 milligrams in her system.
and what about whenever it goes into the half life or whatever, right before the next dosage is due?
Cassie,
Is,
I like I said, I'd have to get back
is
into
it
the
is it
notes. I'm not sure
is it still going to
about
be low?
how long is the half life.
Okay, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, okay, if I take 100 milligrams every dosage of whatever medication,
Mm-hmm.
and the time is come for me to take my next dosage, and you were to run that test on me to see how much is in my system, it's not going to show that I still have that 100 milligrams in my system.
No, it won't.
And that's my argument, I guess, on that. We don't know what time she took this medication. So either it was given to her in a small sprinkle on her cupcake, or it was time for another dosage. And that 3 word phrase that they have in the toxicology report talks about it being done when it's time to take the next dosage. But I don't know that I'm not a doctor and I don't pretend to be one on YouTube either.
I'm not a doctor either. I was just a determined woman to find an answer for a question that I had, and but nobody could answer it, so I had to figure it out for myself. And but I did have people to say, hey, this is you are correct. That who are in the medical field. So that's why when that girl, you know who I'm talking about, when
Yeah.
she tried to argue me down and I was asking her, where did you all I wanted to know, I was trying to understand, and it just went left. But I knew she was lying.
And I've had a lot of people in the community over the years say, I was on the prescription and did this and that. I've seen men come up and make videos on Facebook come out. I'm on it right now. I take it on a regular basis and I can't do this. And but the thing is that I had to learn to take what everybody was saying on the internet with a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've had so many professionals and now one of them stepping up to the plate.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't believe everything you hear people saying. A lot of a lot of them say they have degrees in this and that, and when you come to know them, they don't have a degree in anything.
I got a degree.
What I have a degree is
They
in
sell it
common
at
sense.
Walmart, 2-pack.
My degree is in common sense.
You can't say that because then they'll start with that third eye stuff.
Girl, yes. But yeah, that drug is very interesting. And it was something that just, how you just have a gut feeling that this don't, it didn't make sense to me the way it was written down in the autopsy, the way it read, it never made sense to me. Out of everything that I know about Kanika Jenkins' case now, that drug just didn't make sense to me. Something about it that the name even sounded funny to me, which caused me to be suspicious of that drug. And like I said, when you go over to when they do the toxicology report, that drug is on the grid. So I'm not understanding. Look, it that's bothers me. Like, okay, we have this drug that you say contributed to her death, and now I'm seeing it on a toxicology grid. I mean, I don't want to plant any seeds in anybody else's mind, but for me, it just aroused my suspicions a little more. You know, that could be too, Miss Debbie. You know,
Okay. Boss, you still here?
no, boss said he had to leave. He said he
Oh,
probably come back later.
I was in the back. I ain't seen you in the back.
But
I didn't see.
Kathy,
I
I
was
don't
going to
want to.
say, you suck because you left me on a cliffhanger. I was looking
Boss,
at
so
I was
boss is
looking at his
doing a
video real
video
quick.
on this drug to pyramid, right?
Yeah, I just watched it and so I was going to tell him, you suck because you left me on a cliffhanger. Because he's going to have
Okay.
another part come to it.
Okay, so I'm gonna get that information to him, um, some kind of way. But yeah,
Do you need his email?
yeah,
I can send it to you.
okay. Oh, I think boss got
Oh,
my real name on my real
oh,
Facebook
he says that
page.
he's on the backstage. I think is what he's saying.
The boss is the only one who knows my real name. Why let him in on the secret? I don't know.
It'll probably echo if I try to, boss,
But look, guys, I don't want to keep
because it'll be off of
y'all
YouTube.
any longer. We almost at 3 hours.
Yeah. And they say that I do long ones.
Yeah, my
You can't
first
blame
live
me.
was almost 3 hours. You go, girl. I
You did
can't hang
good though,
like that long in your chat, Cassie. I'll be falling asleep.
because you're not
Falling
the one.
asleep with the
You're
phone on my
listening and not
ear.
talking. That's why.
But then I
Oh,
wait back. I wake up and I get right back in it. Yeah, the last few lives y'all did when I was like, I think that was on Sunday mornings. I
hmm
had fallen asleep with the phone on my ear, and I
I
got
can't
back
tell
up
you
in the
how many
chat
people
like I
do
had
that.
never fell asleep.
There's a lot
And
of people
started
that do
talking
that.
again.
Okay, I see. I see. You found the other the back chat thingy. I was
Yeah,
fixing to tell you, I'm bad about not seeing it because it's
yeah,
on my laptop. It's just a little red dot off to the side, so I never see it.
I got it. But okay, guys. So,
Oh, Debbie takes the medication every day and really don't ask much about it.
so Debbie.
I'm going now. Going to now. Okay.
Oh, Brazy.
Debbie wants me to go live.
Okay, Debbie wanna go live.
Okay.
Okay,
So I'll move
Brazy,
over.
just catch us on Miss Cassie's live. We're gonna close out over here and go to Cassie's channel.
All right.
All right. Good night, everybody.
All
But
right.
see y'all in a minute.
Thank you, Dana.
Thank y'all for coming in the chat and keeping me company. All right, Cassie, you on next.